When has Nick Foles ever been an MVP candidate? Never. I hate when my legends, my icons just, oh my God. That's the worst take I ever heard.
My mama need that bill money, my son needs some milk. Try to take my life, they around.
Good morning. As if the Eagles already didn't have enough problems.
You gotta feel that, Zoom.
When we would have you in the middle of the club in the mosh pit getting hyped up, I would mess up that hair in the tea tree.
We get rid of that.
Get the hair in the tea tree, just swaying it all the way around.
Pouring champagne on himself.
It's too early. Or are you guys just getting in? Is it too late? We just have to figure out which one it is.
We're not in yet.
Yeah, this still yesterday, man.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin presented by Progressive. Not yesterday, but the day before yesterday was Tuesday when Brett Favre showed up on First Take, the NFL legend. And he essentially went on First Take, and, you know, that show is full of great opinions. And Brett, I would say, gave an opinion that even knocked Stephen A. and Max out of their seat. He had the best opinion of the show when he essentially said, when it came right down to it, Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, of course we know Wentz led them all the way to a brink of a Super Bowl, and Foles finished the job, and then the Eagles eventually chose Wentz, let Foles go. He ended up in Jacksonville and now in Chicago. Favre essentially said, you chose the wrong guy from the jump. After the Philly special happened, you should have just kept Nick Foles. So Doug Peterson, the Eagles head coach, and I should mention this, he was a longtime backup for Brett Favre in Green Bay. So he knows both sides of the equation here. He was a backup on two different stints in Green Bay, late 90s and then the early aughts as well, all backing up Brett Favre. Close personal relationship with Brett. Obviously, got to protect my guy, Carson Wentz, because we made that call. So he's got to straddle both sides of the fence. And the Philly media just went in on him, not once, not twice, but 3 different times on this very question. Did you pick the right guy? Let's listen to the first time Doug Peterson was asked about if they picked the right guy when compared to Favre's comments.
Doug, Brett Favre offered the opinion yesterday that you guys should have kept Nick Foles over Carson Wentz, and his comments arguably have a little bit more weight since you guys are tight. Just curious what your reaction to his comments are.
I respect Brett's opinion. Yeah, we are friends, but I haven't talked to him, and he's entitled to that, and that's about it.
Okay. Then he got a little testy. Then there was a second question. And then he was asked for the third time, and he finally said what the Eagles eventually did.
Carson's our guy. Carson's our draft pick. Carson's the guy that is going to carry us and lead this football team. And listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Those aren't my words. Those aren't Howie's words, Jeffrey's words. Those are his words. I mean, I respect that opinion. Whatever he wants to say, that's fine. And we're going to remain friends. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. All I know is that Carson Wentz is our guy. Again, I respect his opinion and his words. Those aren't mine. Please don't put words in my mouth, or we're going to have a problem. And Carson's our guy. Bottom line. End of story.
Howie is Howie Roseman, Executive Vice President of the Eagles. Jeffrey is Jeffrey Lurie, who is the owner of the Eagles. Just wanted to set that up. All right, fellas, it took 3 questions, but they got him going.
Well, don't get contentious with the media. Yeah. Answer the question the same way every single time. Wentz is our guy. Second time, Wentz is our guy. Third time, Wentz is our guy. I don't know what else you guys need from me. There's no need to become emotional. I mean, Nick Foles is like a watered-down version of Robert Ory, okay? You bring him in to win a game, but that doesn't mean that you give him a major contract and you make him your star player the next year. Like, I actually agree with them doubling down on Carson Wentz. Now, has it panned out? No. But it was the right move. Sometimes it gets me so frustrated with the way Doug Peterson handles situations. Philadelphia media, do your thing. Ask the question over and over and over again. But we're part of the media. We get that we have to do our jobs.
Poke the bear.
But we're also been on the other side of the media where I'm going to answer the question the same way every time. You're not going to get emotion out of me.
See, what I want, I'm a little different because I want some emotion because this was an opportunity for him to back his guy. Like, you just think, Wentz is listening. Right, this is a way to galvanize the troops. I'm going to say, listen, Brett Favre, I would have came at Favre. Like, listen, he kept saying, oh, I respect the guy. He has been. No, you don't have the right to come and talk about what's in my locker room. Don't talk about my organization. It ain't your place. You know what I'm saying? I would have went at him. Like, you know what, Brett Favre? What we need you to do is 2 things. We don't need you in front of mics, and we don't need you around cameras. How about that?
Uh-oh, you went to the camera.
I'm going to go to the camera, man. Let's send a pic.
And so we don't need 1,000 tweets
don't send
right
the pic.
now.
It's more like
don't
it.
send. Don't send.
Don't send.
Who's that? Don't press send. Don't press
send. Yes.
Brett, don't press send. How about that?
And don't press send on your Twitter account to send this. This is a public service announcement. For those of you too young to remember this, when Brett Favre was drafted, the NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue went up to the podium and announced his name as Brett Favre. Yes, Bart obviously knows who Brett Favre is. In the interest of equal time, I do want to mention Carson Wentz did respond with the obvious pretty blah statement, but as Jay said, you got to be the CEO, or I think, Bart, you said that this morning.
Yep.
You got to just say the right things. This is Wentz himself on all of the controversy, essentially addressing the fact that Favre thinks that he shouldn't be on the Eagles. He should be playing quarterback somewhere else. Quote, at the end of the day, it's really whatever. Everyone has their opinion, so I don't know. Thanks for the clarity.
Yeah. I'm like, Elway's better. You know what I mean? I'm tit for tat.
Easy.
I'm a tit for tat guy. I'm Elway's better. You know what I'm saying? You got to poke the bear, man. You want to come at me, I'm coming at you, man. I'm an equal opportunity a-hole.
No, it is. You came in hot. It is interesting, though, when you think about friendships within the media, right? So if Doug and Brett are friends, do you think Doug got a call that Brett said this? Hey, by the way, I said this. It may have put you in an interesting predicament. I know you'll probably have to answer questions about this. I actually want to provide some context to you. I only say that because I got caught. Look, one thing I love about this show, we're always real, right? So I ran with some information that I thought was factual. I sent out a text to Kevin Durant about this. Didn't get a response to him later. I had to retract that statement. But I had a relationship to go back and talk that stuff through. So I wonder if you're really friends with somebody, do you think Doug really had context, or do you think we're just labeling that as friends? Because that felt more like a shot from Brett Favre at the Eagles organization and Doug Peterson, more so than a friendly comment made about a team.
They're teammates. I don't know. I mean, we use friends so loosely around. You understand that the people that you really, how many people you really stay in contact with from your playing days? And you realize we were just associates, and our life was on the same schedule. So, but
there's still that respect there, right? Though there's if you hold yourself to a moral standard, you have that respect with your teammates, especially if you guys have won games together.
Yeah.
Instead of going to the Shell Pennzoil Performance line, let's go right to Bristol, Connecticut. Our resident Eagles fan, Pat Costello, who works as hard as anybody behind the scenes on the show, is a hardcore Eagles fan. I don't think I've actually met anybody but a hardcore. There's no casual Eagle fans. They're all hardcore, ready to go. All right, Pat, we're going to wind you up. 3, 2, silent 1, go.
Zubin, this made me so angry when I heard this statement from Doug Peterson, because it was so, like Jay said, it was so easy. All he had to do was laugh it off and say, Carson's our guy. I'm not even going to answer that question. Jerry Jones got this right the other day. Jerry Jones, who is fully incompetent as a general manager of the Cowboys half the time, got this right with Dak Prescott saying, I'm not even going to answer questions about drafting a quarterback because he's our guy. It took you 3 times. What you guys didn't hear is the question on the 3rd time started with, I'm going to ask you this for a 3rd time because I don't want anyone to get misconstrued about this. And that's what it took for you to answer that Carson is our guy. It's completely ridiculous. And Doug Peterson is the most infuriating coach in the NFL. End of rant.
Indeed. Okay, so now you're going to hang up and listen. First time, long time. Thanks for doing it. Pat from Manayunk or South Philly or whatever the case would be. He's going to take our thoughts off the air, okay? He's going to take our thoughts off the air.
Nick Foles didn't beat out Mitchell Trubisky.
Or Minshew.
He didn't beat out either one of these guys. He had ample opportunity to beat them both out, did not succeed. But now Brett Favre is going to say that Nick Foles should have stayed.
And he was on an $88 million contract. He was on an $88 million contract.
Oh, my goodness.
And lost his job to a dude and cut off Lee Dunkaroo shorts.
That would be Gardner Minshew. You remember that era with Jacksonville, as charmed of a life as he had in Philly at the end. The first game he had with Jacksonville, he had the collarbone injury. It was never the same. And obviously now he's in Chicago, and the man wearing jorts for the moment is starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jorts.
Facts. Still to come. Should the college football playoff be A, pushed back, B, expanded, C, put in a bubble, or D, all of the above? Paul Feinbaum answers all of that after this.
Answer so many questions in my SAT with D, all the above. This Sunday, will truly be a Sunday like no other. With this weekend's major golf tournament, along with tons of football, there will be no shortage of action. DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy sports, wants to put you in the center of the action by giving you a shot at millions of dollars in prizes all weekend long. If you haven't tried DraftKings yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss out on this action. Daily fantasy is easy to play. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and watch the points roll. The better your players do, the higher on the leaderboard you rise. Whether your sport is golf or football, DraftKings has countless ways to help you feel the sweat and make it rain. Download the DraftKings app now and use code KJZ during signup. This week, DraftKings is putting you into action with a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes.